Greetings once again from Miss Wordsmith. Tonight I would like to entertain you all with a little tale that I like to call The Little Shadow. Please enjoy. Once upon a time there was a little shadow. The little shadow was lonely, so very lonely. This made the little shadow sad.
Where can I find a friend? No one wants to be friends with a shadow.
The little shadow thought sadly. The little shadow wandered for a long time, looking for someone, anyone who would be its friend. Then, one day, the little shadow met Dexter, a lonely little boy whose parents always seemed to dote on his older brother and baby sister. The little shadow came into Dexter's bedroom through the window one night. Dexter jumped when he saw the little shadow. It sat upon his windowsill on its haunches like a monkey, and, with its head cocked to one side like a dog, looked at him with faintly glowing yellow eyes filled with curiosity. What are you?" he asked, shaking fearfully.
Please, don't be afraid of me. I won't hurt you,
the little shadow said, extending a hand reassuringly. Dexter reached out and shook the little shadow's hand. "Do you want to play with me?" he asked. The little shadow nodded. Dexter watched as the little shadow jumped from the windowsill to the floor and stood. It was as big as Dexter, which made him feel a little less frightened.
So, what do you want to do first?
It asked. Dexter thought for a moment before answering. "How about hide and seek?"
That sounds like lots of fun.
The two played for hours, and when it was nearly time for the sun to rise, the little shadow had to leave.
I'll come back tomorrow night and we can play some more.
Dexter nodded. "Okay, bye." He waved to the little shadow as it slipped back out the window. The two played together every night, and what fun they had. They played with Dexter's toys and played hide and seek, tag, board, and video games. One night, Dexter's parents came in when they made a little too much noise. The little shadow hid in Dexter's toy box when they came in. "What are you doing in here?" his father asked angrily. "It's late. You should be in bed." "You're keeping your siblings up. Go to bed," his mother ordered irritably. They both scolded Dexter for a minute before they left the room. The little shadow waited for a bit, then crawled out of the toy box. It looked around and spotted Dexter sitting on his bed, hugging his knees with little tears running down his cheeks.
Please don't cry.
The little shadow reached out and patted Dexter's shoulder. The little shadow thought about the situation over and over, wanting to do something to help him. Then an idea came to mind.
Would you like me to make them go away?
The little shadow asked, its yellow eyes beginning to glow faintly of a redder hue. Dexter shook his head. "No, don't do that," Dexter said. The little shadow nodded.
Okay, let's play some more then.
Dexter smiled, and the two began to play some more, making sure to be extra quiet. This continued for many more nights, except now the little shadow began to ask the same question every few nights, always after Dexter's parents had scolded him for not going to bed.
Do you want me to make your family go away?
It would ask, its little yellow eyes gleaming faintly of a reddish hue in the dark. "No, I don't want you to make them go away," was his response each time. Dexter loved his parents and his siblings, even if his mom and dad made him eat all his vegetables, even if his brother was a jerk sometimes, even if his baby sister cried too much. He loved them all. One night, as they played their usual games, the little shadow stopped and looked at Dexter, its yellow eyes glinting.
I have an idea,
it said. "What's your idea?" Dexter asked excitedly.
You still don't feel like your family cares much for you, right?
Dexter nodded slowly. "Yeah, my parents still ignore me or leave me when my sister cries or my brother starts whining about something." He suddenly shot the little shadow a serious look. "Don't ask me that same question again," he said sternly.
Oh, I have no intention of doing that. Actually, I want to ask you a different question tonight.
It said, a smile nearly visible on its inky black face. "What?"
Do you want to come with me? We could play all night and all day.
He thought a minute, resting his chin against his little fist. "Where would we go? When will we come back?" The little shadow shook its head.
We won't come back. You'll come live with me. As for where, well, that's a secret.
It put a finger where its mouth would be in a shushing motion.
But think about it. There's no room for you here. They don't need you. Come with me and we'll always be together. Best friends forever.
It said, reaching out a hand towards Dexter. After thinking about it, Dexter decided the little shadow was right. He nodded his head. "Okay, I'll go with you," he said, reaching out to take the little shadow's hand. The next morning, when Dexter's mother entered his room as usual, his toys were all over the floor as they normally were, his bed left unmade with a pillow barely on the left edge of the mattress, while the bedspread was bunched up on the foot of the bed. His clothes for today still lay neatly folded on top of his dresser, and his shoes beside it. And the window was open, a gentle breeze making the curtains billow and sway. There was, however, no occupant in the room. Dexter was gone. His mother immediately looked to see if he fell out the second-story window. She was relieved when she saw he wasn't on the ground below, but that still didn't tell her where he was. Dexter's mom and dad searched the whole house, top to bottom, but didn't find any trace of him. They called the police, who initiated a neighborhood-wide search for him, knocking on doors, gathering volunteers, searching parks and streets and yards. Nothing. They still didn't find him or a single clue as to his whereabouts. The search dragged on, but he was never found. Eventually, they had to give up. Dexter's family cried and mourned his loss, trying to accept that they would never see him again, moving out of the house, out of the neighborhood, to somewhere where they could start over, forget, and heal. The house was left abandoned to rot. No one else ever moved in. It's considered to be haunted now. They say you can still see the shadows of children running around, playing in the house some nights. Although, the exact number of shadows varies, because when people do see them, there always seems to be one more than there was before. Well, I certainly hope you all enjoyed this little tale. Stay tuned to my YouTube channel for more tales from my library. Until next time.